how actively search for a home as a home buyer.
But first, let's hit it. Hi, it's Alan Victoria. Welcome to our channel and podcast.
And if this is your first time in our podcast and YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and get notified.
Honestly, you call us all the text all the time at 252-327-3357, and we love absolutely talking to you. So we're talking about how to go from just browsing and researching, which is what the Smart Series has been talking about thus far, to actively searching, because it is now time to really look and invest in buying this home. So that's really what we're talking about right now.
Yes. And then what is the first thing that we need to import?
Okay, so you've done your homework. You know how much the houses are going for, what the good deals look like, how much you're pre-approved for. You know how much you want to spend and that price point that you're waiting for to arrive. So, right, it's not as easy as here's the money, give me the house, give me the keys, that's it. Real estate is a little bit more complicated than that. So it's important that you are working with somebody who's the right fit, of course, working with us, working with the right agent that is there for you in their times. If you don't have one, we're happy to recommend somebody.
And it's very easy to get overwhelmed because there are some steps going to from the starting point to when you get the key in your house, in your hand, and that's that.
So you need a guide. You need a good guide.
Definitely, you need a guide. And then we started with the sixth step that we wanted to talk about. The first thing that we wanted to talk about that is good deals always sell fast. No matter in what market we are, either buyer's market or seller's market, that if the house is in the perfect shape, has a perfect pictures, and everybody it smells good, definitely is gonna sell.
Yes.
No? Do you want to add anything about it?
Yes, and be ready with your realtor. If this house hits the market on a Tuesday or a Thursday, let's go out of our comfort zones and go see it right away. So This is why it's super important that you have somebody that you were working with when you're on active alert to say, let's go check out this house that just hit the market.
Number 2, make sure you communicate with your realtor that you get the email alert about all the active and those that they come to the market right away. Why are we saying that? But again, the scenario that we talk about. No?
And ask your realtor if they're trying to send you to their website, which we might say, hey, I really want to get this MLS alert. So we can set you up on an MLS alert as well, which means the second it's hitting the MLS, you are getting notified if it hits your criteria. And that is something that is so crucial when you're looking for that deal.
And the reason is when you go into the different websites like a realtor.com, Zillow.com.
Our website, Alan Victoria Sells Homes.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, other website that is not MLS, they don't update basically the status of that listing of that houses. And you might see something is really not active, is under the contract, but it's still you're seeing it online is active.
Right. So number 3 thing we're going to talk about is open houses.
Yes.
Now, if you're working with a real estate agent, you do not need to wait for an open house to go see a house. Typically, the open house is for people who don't have agents, who are going to, they're in the process of browsing and up all our other Smart Series as well, but they're not quite ready. Those are the people who tend to come to open houses. So if you are working with an agent, of course, we can go see that house immediately as soon as we can make an appointment.
And this is that you don't have really pressure on the open houses and you can go walk with other people, including your realtors, to make sure this is what you want and that's what this house has to offer.
But it's really better if we have a private viewing because then we can talk openly. Number 5.
And number 4, basically we want to tell you that there are different scenarios. One of the scenarios you see online, beautiful picture, wonderful, you think everything is really beautiful and flawless.
I want to hit buy now.
Yeah. And then you go to the house with your realtor and it said the picture exactly is not what the online says and is not as good as I thought. And again,
or the opposite can happen many times. Whoever was the selling agent was very lazy. They used their cell phone. They do not have a good picture service. The pictures are blurry. They don't look good. It makes the house look dark when it maybe is not even a dark house. It's beautiful, but they didn't turn the lights on. So, I mean, it's so important. And sometimes that ugly picture house is exactly what you want, but you don't know because they took really bad photos. So don't get judged by photos alone. Really go see the house in person as much as you can.
Therefore, the message is, if the house meet your criteria, those that you need and must have in your list, and the pictures are not perfect or perfect, at least give a shot and see those houses with your realtor. That is what we are suggesting here.
Number 5, when we're actually looking, what do we remember?
Remember your list and take it with you, no?
Right, so you remember what your must-haves, because don't get, wow, this house has that waterfall shower that I've always wanted, right? That wasn't on your must-have list. It's a nice to have maybe, wow, but don't let that trick of, wow, this is such an amazing feature, now suddenly affect us in a way that you're not actually following your list.
Therefore, definitely following your list and those pros and cons that you're already writing down for each house that you see, it definitely is going to help you to niche down to that 1 or 2 houses at the end.
And number 6 for the initial start, and then we have more to talk about.
Average of basically closing on a house.
Right.
Searching
takes 30 to 45 days to find the house, and then another 30 days to close on the house. So we're talking a 2-month process, 2 to 3 month process, possibly, of getting that house that you want.
Therefore, if you are a renter and you were thinking, oh, for example, at the time of this video, for example, January 2023, my lease ends in March, already that you're late, because as my wife said, 30 to 45 days for search, 30 to 45 days for closing. That is like a 3 months window.
So if you're closing in June, then start in March. Next thing we want to talk about, which is super important, is not to overlook. So I told you that more and more coming on, is don't overlook houses that are harder to sell. Think about those houses that are harder to sell in the future. Now, this might be your dream house that clicks all the buttons, but still have a concept and think about these 5 or 6 items that we're going to talk. I think it's 6 questions that you're going to ask, because it's going to make it harder to sell in the future. So you want to just at least have that concept in your mind. What are the questions?
One of the questions is if the house is located on the busiest street.
Right.
I understand you're looking for the backyard. The backyard is amazing. The house has the 3-bedroom, 2 baths, for example, that you wanted with all the features. But at the end of the day, you need to think about the resale value.
Right. Stephen King wrote a whole novel on the busy street and why you wouldn't want to go on live on a busy street. So there's a reason. There's horror books about this. The second thing, is the house near a railroad track?
Exactly. If there is a rail track, a
highway,
These
these are things that are going to make that house noisy or loud or something that's going to be a problem.
And don't forget the power.
Absolutely.
Which also, this is another thing that you need to think about.
Or is it near a power source?
Exactly.
Because people, even true, not true, I don't know science, but I know people will tell me, oh, I'm worried about cancer. And if people are worried about that, that's something you have to take in consideration.
And another thing that you need to think about is the roof. No, if you go into if you are in the climate that
like
is, you have a snow or constant rain, having a flat roof, it might be problematic. No,
absolutely.
Therefore, definitely look at those things that might
that matches the climate. And the last thing we want to say is this house a little weird in some way? Is there 6 bedrooms and 1 bathroom? Because that's weird, right? How are 6 bedrooms going to use 1 bathroom? Or does it just look weird? Is it like based on some sort of movie or TV show or book that we read? Is it a house that they made look like Hogwarts, right? Those stairs in the Hogwarts line look cool when they're moving steps, but let's be honest, if you try to boil Hogwarts as a real place, it's going to be a little harder to sell in the future.
Yes. And then, do you want to add anything?
And then the last thing, before we've made an offer, yes, we are. This is at least in North Carolina. We're doing a due diligence. We are a due diligence state where you have to pay a fee to put that house under contract, which is not in most other states. So we're gonna just walk around the house. We can't do a full inspection. We're not paid for the inspection yet, but we're gonna check: are the windows opening? Do the doors open? Are they creaking? Are the floors creaking? What else are we looking for?
If the walls have holes, or basically are the trims are okay, what else?
Do the stairs seem sturdy, or are they wobbly? Because this could be a problem. Does the house have a weird smell?
Yeah, what is the layout is that
right.
you exactly, and if it has a fence, do the fence seems sturdy and solid?
Right. Does the siding have a bunch of holes where that's going to have a problem in the future? Or does the siding of that house look okay? is the roof, I can't look at the roof fully, right? But I can look up with my eyes. Do I see missing shingles? Do I see missing problems? Do I see the gutters are in a problem? Are they curling or buckling? That's a really bad sign for a roof.
Or if it has a crawl space, make sure that it has at least a moisture barrier.
We can at least ask about a moisture barrier.
And God forbid, not rotten wood under the crawl space.
We can't know that yet though.
Yes, we don't know. Therefore, it's super important to understand those things. And if
does
the
the
floor
garage
is
work?
slopey, you know?
Are there slopes on the floor? While we can't check all the details before we've made an offer, we can at least use our brain and look around and make sure you're making a smart choice before you throw money down that you could potentially be losing here in North Carolina, because we are a due diligence fee state, which means you put money down that is non-refundable to buy this home.
I hope this information we provided was useful. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned with the channel. See you in the next podcast and video.
And I can't wait to show you a house.